Welcome to Gayatri Scientific Spirituality Center. Today's topic is Mission Scientific Spirituality. Once there was a golden era of truth where the principle everybody pursued in their life was Satyameva Jayate, the truth only prevail. So they would speak truth even in dreams. There was a story of King Harishchandra who made a promise in his dream and he kind of went all the way up to giving up his kingdom, his family life, selling himself to fulfill that promise. Ram and Yudhishthir also were great examples of speaking truth. So they would even trust everyone without any doubt. In Ramayana, there is an episode of father, son, and stepmother where the stepmother tells Ram that your father has promised me, and as per that promise, you should do forest dwelling for 14 years. And without even a second of doubt in his mind, Ram stepped out of that room and started preparing his journey to the forest. They would keep the word. Ram gave a word to Vibhishan to make him a king of Lanka, even though it was extremely hard fought win. But Ram did not even think for a second to fulfill his promise. They would even be ready to die to keep their words. So it is said in Ramayana that prana jaye par vachana na jaye. So if I made a promise, even if it means losing my life, I would do that for it. And people will let go the life to even fulfill the words of others. King Dashrath died honoring the words of old parents of Shravan Kumar, who he mistakenly killed. He tried every possible way to support the parents, but they said, we are still not happy and we are going to let go our life in pain of losing our son, and same would be our fate. And Dashrath himself accepted that his fate, and he died of the same pain when Ram went to the forest. There was also a golden era of non-violence, ahimsa. The principle here was Kshama Virasya Abhushanam, means compassion is a jewel of mighty. So harming only in extreme situations. Ram sent two messengers to respectfully return his abducted wife before raising weapons against Ravana. Krishna made every possible effort for a fair deal to avoid the epic war. Warning shots were a norm, and there are ample stories around it. No attacking from back or when opponent is not ready. Killing only after opponent doesn't accept defeat or give up the weapon, right? Even after losing. They would never harm women, children, or anybody unarmed. Even after wars, opponents would be respectful to one another. They live like a family, like marrying their children, return back the kingdoms. There is a story of Drawn and Drupad, where after the war, Drona returned half of the kingdom back to Drupad. And least was to spare life. Even in 11th century that happened where Prithviraj spared the life of Muhammad Ghori 18 times. And that tradition was even followed by the demon kings. Like Jarasangh, who was a demon king, who made 16,000 kings hostage. He did not kill them. He kind of win over them and then he made them hostage and then let them leave. And there was always the highest rights given to women. There was a tradition of Swayamvar where woman would choose her husband completely according to her will. So there are these examples of Sita Swayamvar, Draupadi Swayamvar, Rukmani Swayamvar, Subhadra and Sanyukta. There was also a golden era of non-stealing, Asteya, where the principle was Atithi Devo Bhava. A guest is a god. There was a tradition of daily Yagya to donate and give everyone their fair share. There was a norm for kings to do daily donations or dan to prevent any stealing. The milk was always free. It was said that back in those days, there were rivers of milk and yogurts, so it was always free and available to anybody who is in need. So nobody would have any motivations to steal. There were open courts, public bell for justice seekers. Even animals were allowed to seek justice. There are stories about a dog going to Ram's court and ask for a justice that he's not getting enough food. And Ram kind of ordered his citizens that, okay, everybody in the evening should put some food out for like these kind of stray animals. Even an unannounced guest was given a godly welcome. There were ample stories about birds and animals also behave like that. There was also a golden era of brahmacharya, means conserve and rise life energy. It is about seeing through the maya, the illusion of senses. The Dashrath, the name itself stands for complete control of 10 senses. He was a mighty king and he had 3 queens, but he chose to perform Yagya to get children. And that's how we got Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrugna. Hanuman, Arjun, Shivaji, Dayanand Saraswati, Swami Vivekanand, and so many brahmacharis, and they followed the same tradition. There used to be no marriages or husband-wife relationship before age of 25. Even after marriage, lifelong pativrat, patnivrat, only one spouse. There was a festival of Rakhi. It is to celebrate the glory of pure brother-sister relationship. And a culture of addressing opposite gender person as brother or a father or a sister or a mom. There are ample examples where there were pure soul-to-soul relationship. The examples are Radhe, Krishna, Krishna and gopis, Krishna and his 16,000 queens. There was also a golden era of non-possession, aparigraha, the rich tradition of Dan. Kings were known for their generosity. Karna, Yudhishthir, Krishna, Ram, Bhoj, Vikramaditya, you just name them. It was like a normal thing in a day-to-day life where everybody will do their daily donations. The merchants were known for their donations. There's a story of Bhama Shah and Maharana Pratap. The Satyanarayana Vrat Katha, which is a kind of a periodic storytelling, it talks about the glory of Dan, like how a merchant should give part of his income for the welfare of the community. Even demon kings were generous. Duryodhan was generous to his friend Karna and his 100 brothers called Kauravas. Ravana was generous to his brothers and other demon associates. The king would go undercover to find well-being of his people and secretly help them. There are ample stories around that too. Every year, several days of practicing non-possession, like one special month dedicated for it, a special day of every month, eclipses, and so many such events where people were encouraged to, let go and give to the needy ones. There was also a golden era of niyamas or daily spiritual routines. Well, shauch or purity was utmost important. There were daily multiple baths. People would wear light and airy clothes for ample sunlight and air to pass through, keeping the body fresh. The temples, homes, street, kitchens, bathrooms, they were all kept nice and clean. There was also daily of tapa or the self-discipline. People will do sunrise, noon, and sunset meditation every day, and no eating before noon, fasting 2 times a month. Like, and there are so many festivals throughout the year where collectively people will do fasting and that kind of self-discipline. Practicing santosh, contentment, happy with whatever you got. Never fight for money or land. Fighting was only as an exercise. It was to gain a higher respect or a fair justice. Swadhyay was important part of daily life. People will do spiritual reading and self-introspection for everyday course correction and improvements. The fifth niyama was Ishwar Pranidhan, surrender to the divine laws, extreme adherence to the highest moral codes, dharma. So this was all about living the Gayatri, like Brahma is the truth and purity, Bhavani is non-violence and tap, Ganesha is non-stealing and contentment, Vishnu is brahmacharya and swadhyay, and Shiva is non-possession and Ishwar Pranidhan or surrender to divine laws. And through this, they were automatically working on their chakras. Agya is the command or conviction chakra, which is the goddess is the Gayatri. Manipurak, which is the truth and purity chakra, which is Brahma, and the principle is Soham, I am the creator. The Muladhara, the might or non-violence chakra, and the goddess is Bhavani, and they would practice Shivoham, I am the benevolent one. The Swadhisthana chakra stands for content and wisdom, and the god here is Ganesha, and the wisdom here is Satchit Anandoham. I am bliss, I am truth, I am the consciousness. Anahat chakra is for Vishnu, which is a fulfillment chakra, where the principle is Ayam Atma Brahma. There is, I am a collective consciousness. The Vishuddhi chakra is a detachment or divine laws, and the god here was Shiva, and the principle here was Tattvamasi. I am that dissolve in everything and everyone. And iteratively working through this, people will attain that completeness, the nirvana, mukti, and that chakra used to be called sahasrar, which means 1,000 petals, like or 1,000 ways you are perfect. So in this golden era, there was also a progress of science. Going back 1,000+ years, there was a air travel. Ramayana has a Pushpak Viman or the plane. The Hanuman, Jamvan, Angad, Shankaracharya, they all had that skill. It was a common among rishis and sages. The last written example is of Shankaracharya of not too far back, like 880. There was a mantra technology for curing, blessing, cursing as well. There was a weapon technology. Agnayastra means a fire blast weapon. Vayavastra means wind tornado weapon. Brahmastra means atomic bomb. Varunastra means rain attack. Indrastra means lightning bolt attack. There was astronomy knowledge. Earth was called Prithvi, and its study was called Bhugol, the study of a round Earth. There was a knowledge of planets and their effects on Earth. There was even space travel. Hanuman went flying to the sun and as well to the Saturn. There was a music. There were ragas to ignite fire, cause rain, heal, enlighten as well. There were also communications where people will communicate via telepathy or television. There is a story of Sanjay having that television where he would see the entire war and narrate it to the blind king. And people were also able to communicate with plants. There are stories about Dhanvantari who would kind of talk to the plant and, ask them about their healing qualities. Communication with animals was also normal. Well, in Ramayana, Ram talked to Jatayu, the vulture. He certainly talked to monkeys, squirrel, tree, and deers, right? So these were common. There was an advancement in medical science, Ayurveda, surgery. The Sushrut was the pioneer of surgery. And there was a story about King Jarasangh where he was created by joining the two halves of a baby. Dead revival was very common. The Krishna revived the Parikshit, who was a dead baby in mother's womb. He also revived the son of his guru. Ram also revived Ahalya. Shiva has revived Markandeya as well as Ganesha. There is also a story about Tulsidas reviving a dead person, and there are so many examples. And also examples like Shankaracharya entering a dead king's body to revive him. The past birth knowledge was very common. Krishna tells the king Dhritarashtra of his past 100 births, explaining the reason for his blindness. The last golden period were dynasties of Vikramaditya, which was 2000 years back, Maurya or Gupta was 1500 years back, Bhoj was around 1000 years back. It was a safe haven for all uprooted sects of the world, like Zoroastrians, Jews, Muslims, Christians, Africans. Even today, India has the most number of religious sects in the world, and all have been given equal rights. Going 800 plus years back, India was world's one-third GDP and 30% of the world population. So fair distribution. It was a fountainhead of all the math, science, art, spiritual knowledge, and business of everything. The jewels, metals, food, spices, farm products, clothes, they were all in great demands all across the world. It was a leader in business. These merchants and scholars used to travel all across, spreading the riches and knowledge. Students used to come from all across the world in universities in India like Nalanda, Takshina. There were 8 such universities back on in those days where there was a super low population. The Hind in Bible means activity, gentleness, feminine modesty, earnest longing, maternal affection. In the Middle Eastern languages, Hind means brave. Indigenous has word Indi, which is the another name for Hindi, and genius. So, and it also means root or original. So India or Hindustan was the lovely motherly heaven, a source of everything, an originality of humanity. The Europe was in quest for India through sea route, and mistakenly it named all the beautiful discoveries as India, like US, Canada, West Indies. So let's talk about what happened to India, like since 200 CE or until the independence in 1947. There was an internal competition, jealousy among kings. They like preferred individual honor over the pride of the nation. Of course, and there was a greed, lust, deceit, and cruelty of foreign invaders like Ghori, Ghazni, Khilji, Taimur, Mughals. They ruled, looted, and destroyed culture, science, and spirituality. And this was repeated by His and Her Majesties of the West. The core strengths became the weakness, like Atmavat Sarva Bhutesu, seeing everyone like you, no one is bad. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, earth is one family. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, may all be happy. And what happened to the world? The world lost its fountainhead of scientific spirituality and only safe haven. The spiritual unity broke into divisions of religions and sects. The religions became tools for power and bullying. The poor and weak suffering at the hand of rich and powerful. The womanhood suffering peaked. Science became rampant, although technological innovations brought a lot of conveniences and comforts, but the lack of spiritual insight led to disruption in overall health of the planet Earth. Material prosperity increased, but at the cost of spiritual wisdom. There is no peace, love, content, unity. Technology at the cost of health, physical and mental suffering. Luxury at the cost of ecological balance, global warming, pollution, deforestation. Resources overconsumed and wasted by some while others face starvation. There are larger homes but smaller families. Increased vanity but less love. Wars and weapons of mass destruction have put life on the earth in the danger of destruction. There are also good things happen in the last 50 years, if you say, right? The advancement in transportation and communication has brought us together. And now we are aware of global warming and worried about the future due to the dangerous inventions. The minds have reopened towards the possibility of spiritual powers. The research in mental and physical health also helped us understand human life better. The democratic thinking created freedom of thoughts and openness. Openness to the ideas of rishis and sages of scientific spirituality. And what are those ideas? Atmavat Sarva Vidyasu. See everyone like you. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Earth is one family. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. May everyone be happy. And human intellect is now able to see the value of scientific spirituality, providing a holistic joy of life. So let's understand the scientific spirituality. The picture tells a perfect story. The science on the left, spirituality on the right. It's a male and female energy combination. It's a fire and water combination, which is essential for flourishing garden. It is the right and left of the body for us to be able to fully function. It's like a mind and heart. It's like a power and health, North Pole and South Pole of the earth. It is a sun and the moon. It is a work and a family. It is a prosperity and peace. It is explore and love. And it is an adventure and an experience. And together they bring the satisfaction. And that is what we are looking for. So what is the mission scientific spirituality? Spirituality and science are female and male energies in every life. We all have a male energy as well as female energy. It means spiritual intentions and scientific work. Spiritual education along with the worldly knowledge. Like child needs to know mother and father both. In that order, right? The woman empowerment, higher respect for the female qualities. In Indian culture, we always say Sita Ram, Radhe Shyam, Uma Mahesh, Lakshmi Narayan. Children were named after the mother, like Kaunteya, Radheya, right? Devaki Nandan, Kaushalya Nandan. It is like putting spiritual conscience into the scientific research, technology development, and adoption. Treating the mother Lakshmi, which is all the worldly resources together, as the mother to be shared with everyone versus becoming her owner, Lakshmi Pati. It is a path to Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu. See everyone like you. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Earth is one family. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. May everyone be happy and no one suffer. It is also a mission world. Gurudev Pandit Sri Ram Sharma Acharya is a modern pioneer of scientific spirituality. And here are his initiatives. Thought revolution for returning the Satyuga, the era of truth and justice, by creating divinity in humankind and heaven on earth. The research and refinement in all of the religious practices, social tradition, education, health, environment conservation, business governments, politics, integrating both science and spirituality. Woman empowerment in every aspect of life, and bringing Gayatri, which is for creating scientific spirituality in every human, and a Yagya, which is for responsible action in every human. So it is time to rise. We will change, the era will change. We will improve, the era will improve. More at our websites, awgb.us, awgb.org, as well as YouTube channels, Yagya Gayatri and Shanti Kunj video. Thank you for your time, and find us online at awgb.us.